And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick. Now, you reported a story, Lauren, in Rumors. What was the letter that he wrote to the Jets?
Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the Jets asking to lead their practice team for two reasons. He says that he thinks that he can get the team ready for all of the competition they're going to be coming up against in a way that won't threaten Zach or whoever will be playing in Aaron Rodgers' spot. But also, he wants the team to see that he is ready to play and he is the best contingency plan if anyone gets injured or just can't do the job.
So we're asking 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts, Charlamagne?
I'm going to say exactly what I said a little while ago. It's tragically sad and downright pathetic that Colin Kaepernick wrote that letter because he has let his setback become his identity. You know what I mean? I said it a million times. God exalted Colin Kaepernick into a position of leadership in regards to activism, and it pains me to see that man begging to be in a league that he called racist and compared to a plantation. And I hate that he can never speak for himself. He always got somebody else speaking for him or putting out messaging for him. That's so whack to me. And I wish Colin the best in all his endeavors, but this begging the same people he called racist for an opportunity is absolutely pitiful to me.
Lauren?
I thought that at first, if he got back in, he was going to be able to do the whole I can change within, but y'all saying it's not giving that. I don't understand why he would want to be there. I would never go back to something I left that wasn't good for me.
See,
you know what I mean?
I do see both sides, right? And the reason I see both sides is because I do feel like he's begging to get back in the league, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that the league has boxed you out.
The letter was given very yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
and they gave you so many reasons why they don't want you in the league.
Squad.
Yeah, they give you so many reasons why they don't want you in the league, and you still are begging to get back in the league. I don't like that. But on the flip side, trying to sit in Colin Kaepernick's shoes as a young boy at 3 years old that's been doing football. And football ain't easy, right? As a dad that my kids play football, it's 5 days a week, rain, snow, or whatever. One game on Sunday, and then back on practice again. It's a lot. And these are years. He's probably been doing this for 20, 30 years.
It's his whole life.
So it's his whole life. So to him, he's probably never closed that chapter. And that chapter might be a ring. It might be playoffs. It might be one of those things. And he's never got that.
Man.
And let's be serious. Let's be honest. The Jets are trash. The Jets need somebody. So it's not like it's a far fetch.
I think to me, listening to y'all talk about the quarterbacks that they have right now in that position and how bad they are, and the fact that he wrote this letter and it basically went ignored and they brought in somebody else, that hurt my heart even more because I feel like the way that I look at Colin Kaepernick for what he did is just man, forget them people. We got you wherever you go, right?
He's financially
but
good,
I understand
but it's just
athletes religiously cannot give it up sometimes.
Yeah,
that
but
just happens.
sad.
Until they forced to sometimes.
Because when God exalts you into a position that's greater than football, you got to leave who you were, love who you are, and look forward to who you will become. You know what I mean? I think that the purpose that he serves now and has served over the last few years is way greater than football. And it's kind of a slap in the face to God to not embrace that and not accept that and continue to beg these same people you called racist and said the league was a plantation. Right. You begging to be back in chains, Colin? I'm using your words.
Right, but it's
you
almost...
said that this is a plantation. So you begging, please chain me up, master. You can put me on the practice squad. I don't even want to be on the actual team. Chain me up with the practice squad.
I ain't like that. But it's also, and I'm not comparing him to a druggie, but it's almost like a druggie, right? And when I mean a druggie, you can't tell a druggie when it's time to give it up. They have to tell themselves. They have to say, you know what, I'm giving up drugs. And for him, he has to give up that chase. And he hasn't given up that chase yet.
It's also why I don't want to hear anybody comparing him to Muhammad Ali.
People do that?
Because when Muhammad Ali...
What in the hell?
People do that. Yeah, because when Muhammad Ali, got his boxing license script, he ate that. Because he understood that what he was standing for was bigger than boxing.
But he got to fight again, though. He got to...
After a few years.
Right.
But in those few years, he never made it about him. He always kept it about the movement. He always kept it about the message that he was standing for. Always. And when you make stands that are bigger than you, you know that there's going to be consequences and repercussions, and that comes with it, and you have to be willing to deal with that when you make these kind of stands.
Well, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Yeah, this is Ken Roberts, man. Calling from Florida.
Ken, what's up, man? What's your thought? What you think?
But I'm just saying, Colin Kaepernick, man, football is in his heart. So I'm a man of God, so I understand the heart. Whatever's in your heart will control you. So the man wrote a letter. It's like you messed up with one of your friends or your mom or your dad. You can't speak it, but you want to put on a letter to write it. He wrote a letter. He's trying to get back in the league. Hey, what's wrong with that?
But black man,
out the man for no reason.
Black man,
Yes,
Black
sir.
man, he didn't mess
Yes,
up
sir,
with the
Mr. Charlamagne,
NFL.
God.
The NFL did him dirty. He didn't mess
I
up with the
know
NFL.
it. I know it.
So why should he be writing a letter begging to get back with the person who broke his heart, that did him dirty?
Hello, who's
We're
this?
not using no common sense here this morning.
Yes,
What's your name, Mama?
this Uniqua.
Hey,
Uniqua.
Good morning. What's your thoughts?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, you know what? It's terrible that Colin Kaepernick even has to beg for his job back, right? Because he's a great football player, and I think it's no reason for him not to be able to do both things: advocate for Black rights and the rights of Black people and the treatment, that we're going through, and him being a football player because that's what he does. So, yeah.
The only
Thank you,
thing
Mama.
is if you're doing both, there are going to be so much repercussions. Like, there's no way you can go into a job and say, y'all racist, y'all do this, y'all do that, and expect them to employee of the month you. Like, there has to be a separation of the two.
I would think once you say that about your employee, you done with them. I would think once you throw
Unless you need money or something like that, but he doesn't need
don't
that.
need
That's
the
I'm
money.
trying
He's
to figure
financially
out
good.
what the
Keith,
Yo,
what's your thought, Keith?
hey man, this is Keith from Florida, man. Isn't Colin breaking like one of the 48 laws of power? You never beg your enemy for mercy. Why would you do something like that? You already called them racist. Why would you go back to try to apply in the league that said numerous times that they don't want you? I called one of my employees racist. I will never go back to that job again.
That's right.
Why would
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth.
Once you set fire to the plantation is burned down. You think Django set fire? I'm gonna use a real character. You think Nat Turner, was rescuing all those people and killed all those slave masters and their family only to bring people back to the plantation? Once you do that, you're trying to escape.
you asking us or Kanye?
800-585-1051. We're talking Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the Jets, said he wanted to be on their practice squad. What's your thoughts? Let's discuss this. The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our special guest co-host, Lauren LaRosa.
Yes, sir.
And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick. Now, what happened with Colin Kaepernick in the letter he sent to the Jets?
So Colin Kaepernick wrote a letter to the Jets asking to lead their practice squad to help them get ready for the opposition and to basically show them whenever they need a quarterback, he's ready, he's going to be the go-to. And yes, I said the practice squad, Charlamagne.
I don't like him begging for the spot. I do understand that he's been doing this probably since a young kid, and he's been doing it all his life, and this is what he wants. He hasn't closed that chapter in his life. But I just feel like at this point you're begging, and I would prefer you use everything that you know, your skills, the practices, and I would rather you go to a HBCU and teach those students.
That would be so fun.
You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of them that need the help, that need the eyes on them, and I think that will get a lot of students to go to HBCUs because the eyes will be in that school.
Wouldn't that be the most powerful thing to do? But the reason that Colin probably can't see things like that is because he's let his identity, he's let his setback become his identity. And we all know in order to stop blocking blessings, you have to let things go. Mm-hmm. You can't hold on to things of the past. You know what I'm saying? You got to let go of the past, but keep the lessons it taught you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you gotta let it go.
When you say that about the identity, what do you mean?
Because he's let his setback become his identity because God exalted him into a position of leadership and activism. If Colin would have really just focused on that and kept that going and said, really, F the NFL. I didn't call them racist. I didn't call it a plantation. I don't want to be over there no more. I'm going to be over here helping my people. We'd be looking at him like that. But now we looking at him as this pitiful person who keeps begging the NFL, begging this plantation to be back in chains.
Well, let's go to the
I
phone
don't
lines.
like it.
We got mad people on the line. Hello, who's this?
Mayor Rich Thomas from Mount Vernon?
Hey, Mayor Rich from Mount Vernon.
You the mayor, the actual mayor?
Yeah, former mayor.
Oh, former mayor of Mount Vernon.
I had the pleasure of engaging Kaepernick through Ambassador Shabazz when he was going through the movement.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, look, perhaps Charlamagne should ask a bigger question. How come the league won't let him play? It's not like he can't throw the ball. It's not like he didn't play in the Super Bowl. He's been blacklisted. And that's
we
not
know
right.
this, though.
Yeah, we know this, but the bottom line is the Jets, just like any other team that needs a quarterback, should consider Cap. I say bring back Cap, give him a shot to throw the ball again. He has something to play for. Even though he, led a movement,
It's time for him to get back on the field and play some ball.
Can I ask a
That's
bigger
the only way to
question?
get behind him.
Can I ask a bigger question? Why do we want this for Cap? If Cap said
Well,
that, if Cap said it's racist, if Cap said he's been blacklisted, if Cap said it's a plantation, why would we want to send our brother back on the plantation?
Well, he said he wants to play. Maybe there have been changes. You know, look, Jay-Z has had success in negotiating some, I want to call it a form of reparations for the league, right, for the players, for the entertainers, the music you've seen in the past 2 Super Bowls. So I think it's time for Cap to get back and play. Why not let him get on the field and play ball?
Thank you, man. I will say this, though, and this is not right, and I know people are going to be mad about the way that this is said, but if you create a stink in the league, right, where people feel a certain way about you, this is a business. And if I own one of those teams, would you want to hire Kaepernick on your team, not knowing what he's going to do, not knowing what he's going to bring to your team when you just want to bring wins?
No, I mean,
I think that's
I hear what you're saying.
See, that's a decision that if you're an owner, I think a lot of those owners, which are not black or white owners, we have one black owner, which is Magic Johnson.
they don't even want to hear from the wives of the players. So you think that they want to put Colin Kaepernick on their team to then be able to have conversations and like all of that, right? No, to answer your question, but this is all stuff that we know.
Correct.
So I don't like, unless he's able to come in and really like from the inside infiltrate, I don't see what it does for his life. Is not just about him in football anymore. Like, he is so much more now to us.
That's what I thought.
He is. He's going to realize it.
Jazzy, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your thoughts,
guys.
Jazzy?
I'm sitting outside of a Wawa before I go in.
Okay, go ahead. Talk to us.
But anyways, I agree with Charlamagne, mainly because of the fact that, like, you're begging to be somewhere where they don't want you. Like, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yes.
In a sense. It's like, instead of, you know, I understand that football is his life, whatever, but create your own lane, create your own table, do a junior league, do training camps, do something that they'll see you for you, they'll see you by yourself instead of surround you with that NFL drama, that NFL bullcrap. Like, yeah, Roger Goodell, like, gave him an apology, but was it really an apology? Because he still ain't hired, so why are you still trying to get in there?
And it's sad. It's sad that we want to. We begging him to go. It's like we're pushing him to go back. It's like no. You left the plantation. You told us about the atrocities that are happening on the plantation.
Did he leave the plantation, or was he fired from the plantation? Because he was fired, right? Because he didn't leave.
Yes.
He was fired. He was let go.
And then he called them out. Said it was racist.
And obviously that was true because they apologized. They cut him a check. We don't know how much the check was for. And he wants to play. And I get it, but it's to the point where it's like, when do you let it go? But, you know, like I said, he's been doing this since probably the age of 3. This is all he knows. And that chapter in his book is not done for himself.
Man, when God exalts you to a position of leadership the way he did Colin Kaepernick, you have to go lead.
Playing devil's advocate, though, right? If he was to be able to get back on the team and he can't really do or say too much, just him playing, is that a symbol of aha in y'all faces? Like, does that mean anything?
No, it's a symbol of, oh, we racist, we the plantation, but you begged us to come get put back in chains. Now you back in chains, working for us again. How is that going to change the league in any way, shape, or form? Like, how is that going to change the system of the NFL? And Lauren, you said something. What you asked me earlier? You said, what'd you say about America?
Oh, I said you still stay here even though there's a lot. Yeah, America's racist.
The difference, I think, is America is a system that we were all born into, and it's a system that promises us certain things. It promises its citizens certain things: freedom, liberty, and justice for all. What we've historically seen is this system only provides justice for some. Right. And we have fought against this system since the beginning of time. We aren't begging to be a part of this system. We are a part of this system. And as it currently is, we don't like it, and we're demanding for things to change. Colin not doing that. He called them racist, compared them to a plantation, and now he's just begging to be a part of that system. Did you hear anything in that letter that sounded like he's trying to change the system? No, it sounds like he's trying to conform.
He wants to play football.
He's ready to conform. Like, no, I don't like it, bro. I don't like it. I think it's pathetic. And
then it gets back to, and I know it's costly to doing the things like Ice Cube is doing and creating our own spaces in our own league. I mean, of course, we can't create another NFL because that would cost billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. But we've seen the success that Ice Cube has had with Big 3, and it's given a lot of players another opportunity. And hopefully one day we can create that for ourselves.
And also, man, just one more point.
Yes, sir.
Colin took a knee for police brutality.
Correct.
We salute him. We celebrate him. He took a knee to raise awareness to the brutality that black and brown people were facing at the hands of the police. As soon as he got backlash, as soon as he got blacklisted, somehow that movement turned into justice for Colin. Mm-hmm. What happened to the bigger issue, which is taking the knee for police brutality? That's what this was about. This wasn't about, Colin's getting blacklisted from the NFL. We should have expected Colin to get blacklisted from the NFL when you make a stand like that. And then you call the NFL racist and call the NFL a plantation. We should expect that. And he got to be able to eat that. And once again, that's why I don't like when people compare it to Muhammad Ali.
Right.
Because Muhammad Ali ate it when he got his boxing license stripped away from him. And he understood that he was standing for something bigger than his boxing career.
I get it. I didn't expect him to get fired out the league. And the reason I didn't expect that is because he wasn't the only one. There was numerous players kneeling, and he was the only one that pretty much. Well, there was a couple that got that X, but there was a lot of players doing it.
The first soldier over the hill always takes the most bullets.
Right. All right. Well, we got rumors on the way. What are we talking about?
Yes, we are talking about Nick Cannon and him saying that Mariah Carey saved his life when he first got diagnosed with lupus.
All right. We'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.